Guys, I wish I had a little bit better news to share with you today. There's an article that came out in fissues.org, and I'll put the link lower in these comments. But it's a big deal. There are numbers as far as the striped bass stock assessment that many of us were waiting to come out. I shared a few things earlier a few months ago, and I've got a few viewgrams here just to give you a baseline about where we are. So the way the fishery is managed are through biological reference points, right? This upper chart here, this is available publicly. This is the Atlantic States Marine Fishery that has these graphs, and you can look them up online as well. Basically, the blue here is the important thing. This is basically the amount of spawning stock of striped bass in the fishery. This is where we are right here. Okay, the green line indicates an abundance of fish, and the red line indicates basically an overfished fishery. Right here is of 2014, I believe that's 2014 or 2015. Last time the numbers came out, we were sitting right in that threshold. Okay, so big deal now, because February is when the new numbers are released, and there's a lot of suspicion that that number will fall. Okay, well, they've done. Well, you can see that the spawning stock has fallen, basically for the last decade and a half. I don't see anything that would necessarily stop it. Okay, so what the article talks about. There's more robust information, different models out there to better assess what the stock is and how much is being fished. And what they've found is that there is significantly more harvest than what was anticipated. That's a bad thing. This line here, the orange line, that's what they assumed in their models. The reality is the blue line. Okay. And all of those numbers, all of that falls into the assessment for what is left as far as the spawning stock biomass. There's actually a rather complicated formula that goes into it. It involves year classes, it involves mortality, it involves commercial recreational harvesting. And basically what they're showing is that overfishing is occurring. They're taking more fish out than what is anticipated. The real bad news is what I'm about to show you. So that red line that I showed just a minute ago, that's the threshold. The new numbers basically show this. That spawning stock biomass has fallen 25% below that threshold. Myself and a lot of others have been talking about this for a long time. We've been trying to encourage people to do their part to save those big fish, to not hang them up in front of tackle shops. It sends the complete wrong message that the fishery is okay. The fishery is not okay. It's in really bad shape, and it's indicative of the poor fishing that has been out there. There's a lot of people that have seen the good old years. In the past, I'd say 15 years or so of myself fishing this bay, I have seen a significant decrease in those large fish and the quality of fish. 30-inch fish were the new 40-inch fish, or now the new 20-inch fish. It's crazy. And I'll say back in 2012, there was supposed to be cuts taken, and there were, to reduce the harvest. 2012, you can see, right around here, things had been declining. Action was taken. Action was definitely taken. But, let me add the other thing here is there's the 2011 year class, which is the green line. That was one of the best recruitment years that we've ever seen. That was supposed to save the fishery. That stock, that year class, was supposed to increase the fishery. Based on the fact that we've fallen below that threshold, that did not happen. And the reason that did not happen, a lot of people point to water quality, to environmental issues, to whatever. they may have part in it. That's not what the data says. I'm looking at it right here on the screen, the Maryland harvest. And Maryland harvested, let's see, 1.2 million pounds of striped bass in 2012. As I scroll down there, as of 2016, didn't look like Maryland did a very good job of, which is my home state here, which did not do a very good job of reducing their take. That number ballooned to 4.3 million pounds. So that 2011 year class is gone. We killed them. Overharvesting is the problem. Those other things, yes, they certainly have impact for reduction of forage fish, definitely an impact. But we did it. We did it to ourselves. And what if this is the new norm? What if this is what we need to get used to? It's not the fishery that I, loved all of these years. It's not the same. Okay, and I want you to take away from this. Do not let the governing bodies play a trick on you on this one. These reference points are what was the line drawn in the sand, right? There's talk about lowering this red line lower here, dropping it that 25%, maybe even more. Why would you do such a thing? Well, it allows people to take more fish, and they'll decline even further. I mean, this chart, it was a slow decline. They just dropped right off the table. That's a big deal. How far does that fall? Under the current management scheme, I don't know where it stops. I don't know where the equilibrium is. There's a lot of solutions to take care of this problem. We've talked about slot limits. That will do some good things, but it's the equivalent of your house being on fire and you're putting out the fire on the stove. It's going to be a small effort at this point to get back there. I don't know what measures are going to be taken at this point. I suspect drastic ones, but my point is we gotta fight here. There's a big problem on our hands. Please do whatever you can. Make your friends aware of this problem. Try to do everything you can to save our fishery. Do not let them lower that line. Do not let them lower those biological reference points. That's my message to you. I wish I had better news. We've done this to ourselves. And it's not the commercial guys. They've taken their reductions. They've pretty much had the same quota. It's the recreational guys. It's guys like myself out there, tens and thousands of us. And that number has only grown. There's only more anglers out there in the bay, and we're taking more and more fish. It's up to us to police it ourselves until the new laws and regulations can take place, but we've got a problem. Please do whatever you can to help that out.